Anger, an inner enemy. Anger, we all know it. It often arises without warning, taking over and pushing us to actions we later regret. This raw and powerful emotion can overwhelm us, leaving us drained and full of regret. It can destroy relationships, harm our mental and physical health, and push us away from those we love. Imagine for a moment, what if you could tame this inner beast? What if you could channel this intense energy into something constructive and beneficial for yourself and others? What if you could transform this destructive energy into a positive force? A force that pushes you to achieve your goals, overcome obstacles, and create something beautiful and meaningful. This is the promise of Stoicism, an ancient philosophy that offers practical tools to manage our emotions and live a more serene life. The Stoics believed that we could find inner peace by mastering our emotional reactions. In this video, we will explore how Stoic principles can help us overcome anger. We will discover techniques and practices that have stood the test of time and are still relevant today. We will follow the journey of Mark, a man struggling with uncontrollable anger, and discover how he learns to find inner peace through the teachings of Stoicism. His journey will show us that it is possible to change and grow. Get ready to be inspired and discover how you too can master anger and live a more fulfilling life. Together we will learn to transform our emotional challenges into opportunities for personal growth. Mark was a man like any other, with his dreams and frustrations. He lived an ordinary life, juggling his responsibilities and aspirations. But anger was his demon. It would arise without warning, making him unrecognizable. A simple traffic jam, a misplaced remark, and there he was, in the grip of uncontrollable rage. Every day seemed like a battle against himself. This anger impacted his life, his relationships, his work. His friends and family worried about him, and his colleagues found him difficult to approach. He felt like a prisoner of his own emotions, unable to find a way out. Solitude became his refuge. One day, at his wit's end, Mark decided it was time for a change. He knew he couldn't go on like this. He sought answers in self-help books, followed advice from loved ones, but nothing seemed to work. Every attempt ended in failure. Anger was always there, lurking in the shadows, ready to resurface at the slightest provocation. He felt trapped in a vicious cycle. One day, while browsing a bookstore, his gaze fell upon a book entitled Meditations by Marcus Aurelius. The title piqued his curiosity. Intrigued, he bought it, unaware that this book would change his life. This was the beginning of an inner journey towards peace and wisdom. Immersing himself in the pages of Meditations, Mark discovered Stoicism, an ancient yet still relevant philosophy. This philosophy, which emphasizes reason, self-control, and peace of mind, struck him as a profound revelation. One phrase in particular resonated with him: "You cannot control the world, but you can control yourself." These simple yet powerful words changed his perspective. This simple sentence would become his daily mantra, a constant source of strength and clarity. Mark realized that his anger and stress often stemmed from his desire to control things that were beyond his reach. The behavior of others, unforeseen events, the past. Stoicism taught him to accept what he could not change and focus on what he could: his thoughts, his reactions, his judgments. By embracing this philosophy, he found an inner peace he had never known before. Armed with this new perspective, Mark began to apply Stoic principles to his daily life. He learned to identify the situations that triggered his anger and approach them differently. Instead of getting upset about a traffic jam, he reminded himself that it was an event beyond his control and used that downtime to listen to music or reflect. Acceptance became his antidote to anger. Instead of fighting the inevitable, he integrated it into his reality. This did not mean he had to accept everything passively, but rather that he chose not to let external events dictate his emotions. Where there's an obstacle, there's a way. Stoicism also teaches the importance of turning obstacles into opportunities. Mark learned to see his anger not as an enemy to defeat, but as a wake-up call telling him he needed to change the way he perceived things. Another Stoic phrase became his guide: where there's an obstacle, there's a way. Instead of letting himself be consumed by frustration in the face of a challenge, Mark looked for solutions. He used his anger as a source of energy to overcome obstacles and progress towards his goals. transforming anger into positive action. Little by little, Mark noticed a profound change in himself. His anger, once uncontrollable, was losing its grip on him. He was calmer, more patient, more understanding. He had learned to channel his energy towards positive actions, to transform his frustration into an unwavering determination. Those around him also noticed his transformation. His relationships improved, both personally and professionally. Mark had become a living example of the power of Stoicism. The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury. One day, Mark was confronted with a situation that, in the past, would have made him explode with anger. A colleague had taken credit for a project Mark had worked tirelessly on. Anger welled up inside him, but this time he resisted the urge to react impulsively. He remembered another Stoic phrase: "The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury." Instead of seeking revenge, Mark decided to confront his colleague calmly and explain his point of view. To his surprise, his colleague apologized and acknowledged his mistake. Forgiveness and inner peace. This incident marked a turning point in Mark's journey. He realized that forgiveness, however difficult it may be, was a liberating act. By forgiving his colleague, he freed himself from the burden of anger and resentment. He chose inner peace over the fleeting satisfaction of revenge. Stoicism had taught him that true strength lay in self-mastery, in the ability to choose one's reactions and not let one's actions be dictated by emotions. The triumph of Stoicism. Mark's journey is a source of inspiration for us all. It shows us that it is possible to tame anger, this powerful emotion that can cause us so much harm. Stoicism, with its timeless principles, offers us concrete tools to manage our emotions, overcome obstacles, and live a more peaceful and fulfilling life. By applying Stoic teachings, we can transform anger into a positive force, a source of motivation to become the best version of ourselves. Your journey to serenity. Stoicism is not a quick fix, but a journey, a daily practice that requires effort and perseverance, but the rewards are worth it. Greater serenity, more harmonious relationships, better stress and emotion management. So, dare to take the first step on the path of Stoicism. Explore its teachings, apply its principles, and discover for yourself how this ancient philosophy can help you tame your anger and live a more serene and fulfilling life.